Hiya, welcome back to my channel. I've literally seen so many things recently about things in the Bible, and I've watched videos of regular YouTubers that have quoted the Bible and stuff like that, and I've put a few little things together of the different things I've seen and the lessons and stuff. So yeah, this is less informative, more chilled vibes, if you like. Basically, some of it relates to relationships, some of it relates to yourself. So to start off with, don't expect other people to read your mind, and that goes for, and that sounds really weird obviously, but boyfriends, friends, the family, the world. Only God can read your mind and knows your thoughts and feelings and stuff like that, because I think it's so easy to think that you can also read others' minds in terms of sorry, I'm literally not crazy. What I mean is assume what people are thinking about you and make assumptions about you and think, oh, this is what this person thinks about me, this is what they're thinking about me, they're judging me, whatever. It's so easy to have those sort of thoughts, especially with social media with comparisons and stuff. And yeah, that's the first point. Second, taking your eyes off yourself and onto God, basically. And for example, I saw this thing which is kind of unrelated to that sort of side of things, but it said, a perfect body won't give you an abundant life, so I don't want to live like it will, because it won't. For example, at this point, you're putting your eyes on yourself, for example, on your body, and not on God, basically, because there's so many quotes in the Bible, which I don't know how the exact quote, but it's even in that song, that Hillsong song, I can't remember what it's called, but it's can keep your eyes above the waves. I have actually got a cover of that, Oceans, I think it's called, by Hillsong, and very famous if you haven't heard it. And there's this part of the Bible that says basically focus on him in times of worry and struggle, don't focus on the problem, focus on him, sort of thing. Because there's so many things in the world oh, don't find distractions, and I think if you look at the Bible, it's okay to have a distraction as long as it's God and not something detrimental, if you like. But anyway, so I just thought of something else. Oh yeah, I'm going to talk quickly about sinning, because that kind of goes on from the last point of distractions and things that are bad, I suppose. And it says God doesn't tell us not to sin because he's being strict and unrealistic and cruel and negative, a mean boss or whatever, or unreasonable, or narcissistic or whatever. It's because he knows the consequences, and he's being kind to stop us from going down something that's going to cause us harm. So that's just interesting to know, because sometimes in the world we're faced with so many people that are not God, and they inflict things upon us that are not what God is, basically. If you haven't got a clear vision of God, it's easy to look at someone else in a way that they shouldn't be put on a pedestal for, because they're a human being. And yeah, God is just not, I think he has consequences for things, he'll turn away with certain situations, and he'll never stop being with you. He'll always he's got a plan, and you'll never be completely on your own. And he'll put you through things that you can handle. That's another thing I've seen on somewhere, which is that he won't put you through trials that you can't handle. And you might say, oh well, and I can advocate for this, oh well, I've had to take medication, I was in a really bad place mentally at one point and stuff like that. But the fact is, he's still keeping an eye on you, and you're still okay, you're still living. And stuff, not to say that people don't commit suicide and stuff, but what I mean is he's with you every moment. So yeah, basically, this is also what I found interesting is someone was speaking about something somewhere, and they just spoke about the appreciation of being stretched and humbled, because the fact is, especially over lockdown, I've been very angry for a lot of the time during it, because I've been just processing a load of stuff that needed to be dealt with, which I'm sure everyone has. And at some point, if it's just me over lockdown, I highly doubt, so there we go. Being refined, and being stretched and stuff. I've been very angry about the fact, like, people have been like difficult with me, or I've been difficult with them, and it's caused arguments, and I can see problems in people and they're not admitting it, and you know, and I'm doing the same thing to them, and there's just so much clashing. But the fact is, God is refining us and humbling us and stretching us during that time to help us with something in the future, or at that point to like overcome something within us and like build us. So it's about being appreciative of like the work that we're doing, and like not expect like perfection in the moment, because I also saw this thing again unrelated to biblical stuff, but if everything went as you wanted to, life would not be life. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be a simulation of like nothingness, and like a computer game, basically. We're taking that idea from computer games, because like computer related things, because real life is not like that. And there's always crap that goes on. Also, this refers to relationships. You can be refined in relationships, especially romantic ones, and friendships, both of them, and other relationships, because it can be seen as like working out your edges, and those people might see the worst in you, but they might also see the best in you, and it just helps you to like, again, be built to the person that you're supposed to be. And just quickly back to being stretched and humbled, I feel like, yeah, again, during like my mental health struggles, it's maybe shown me as like to not like stretch myself all the time, because I feel like that was to a detriment of my health. But again, it was another lesson to learn about the fact of you don't need to stretch yourself, like let go and let God sometimes in terms of being stretched. Like, don't try and overstretch yourself just for the fun, I suppose. And then in apparently Ephesians, which again, I've copied this off someone else's video, but I mean, I haven't copied it, I've learned this off someone else's video. They talk about being willing to forgive one another. It says, forgive one another as I've loved you, as I've forgiven you, in Ephesians apparently, and that goes with relationships and also yourself, to be honest, because apparently to repent is to turn another way, because you know they say turn away from sin, and in a relationship, if you from your heart don't want to carry on being the way you want you're being, and you reconcile, it can make a relationship stronger. So anyway, I'm gonna stop there. But yeah, I really want to be doing more of these videos because I do enjoy them. I've just seen one more thing that I haven't mentioned, which is apparently in Luke chapter 8, verse 39, it says, proclaim what God has done for you, or go out in the world and proclaim what God has done for you, which I guess I'm doing now, because God has planned me to make this video, I suppose, on some level, and watch all these things that have led me to this point, and also there's a story in Luke chapter 8 about basically, I'm not sure if the whole story was mentioned in this video, which I learnt this from, but basically Jesus was asleep, and there was a huge storm outside, and basically Jesus wasn't afraid of the storm that was going on, but when the disciples were like freaking out, he was woken up because they were scared, and basically it's the point of not being scared of the storm, but being scared of the fear of in people. So knowing the difference between like the fear within people and like the natural stuff. I don't know, you could unpick that whatever way you want, but I feel like Jesus was woken up and he calms the storm, basically. And I think you can apply that to mental health to begin with, and knowing that if you're freaking out, to like go to Jesus and he'll calm the storm in terms of like what you're experiencing in life, or whatever else. And the very last thing is being whole in God in terms of relationships, because I saw someone talking about how they are whole in themselves. They don't complete each other in relationships. And I'm talking about like, yeah, just relationships. So like being whole in yourself before being with that other person and feeling complete with them is how apparently it should be. But yeah, anyway, that is truly the end now. So thank you for listening, and peace be with you, and goodbye.